world, let's chat it up. We're talking competitions, uniforms, and all of the above. It's the Cheer Mom, yes, the Cheer Mom podcast. Cheer Mom, yes, the Cheer Mom podcast. Cheer Moms, your podcast is on.
It's good to be back. I can honestly say it's really good to be back. I would cheers you right now, but if you listened to the quick update I released not long ago, I am in the middle of a challenge where I don't drink alcohol and I drink a gallon of water instead every day. Among other things that I may or may not be consistent in doing, but I'm consistently not drinking alcohol, I'm consistently not eating dairy, and I'm consistently drinking a lot of water. And I am very annoyed, but very pleased to say that I feel so good. Like, it's annoying how good I feel. And this energy, this like wave that I just want to ride till eternity, which, I mean, I guess that's my fate is in my hands. I could just be sober for the rest of my life. Pants that didn't fit a month ago just slid on like butter today. It's like, man, but where's all the fun in that? I don't know. I like feeling good, so I might keep this going. I might just put the bottle down for not forever, but only bring it out during special occasions. We'll see. I want to thank you who are already buying the Cheer Mom podcast merch and subscribing, becoming members of the Cheer Mom, the Cool Kids Club. What are we calling it? The Cool Cheer Moms Club. We're becoming members of the Cheer Mom podcast through my Patreon. If you have not heard, if you become a member, you get ad-free content. You get exclusive chances for behind-the-scenes content with me. You get chances for live Q&A with me. You get early access to new merch drops, a private community. Did I already mention ad-free content? That's all for just $8 a month. And it truly is going to keep this podcast running. It's going to keep it going. I'm not just trying to nickel and dime you. I am trying to keep the podcast alive. So if you have it in you to skip today's Starbucks or going out to lunch, it's just $8 a month to get all of these perks. You can see all of the exclusive perks. I'm going to put the link in the show notes in the description of this episode. $8 a month gets you all of that, and you are supporting the podcast. Thank you so much to Michelle S., your mom ×2, Tasha, Amanda, Autumn, for already joining the membership, for already becoming members. I'm so grateful. Every time that little notification comes through, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a member. Oh my gosh, people actually want to do this. This is so exciting. So thank you. $8 a month, become a member, and you are supporting a small business and getting ad-free content and all this bonus stuff for yourself too. All right. Well, I think that this conversation, these questions, and this stressor comes up more often in August, September, and October than any time of season, but really it can come up at any point. So everyone should listen to this episode. If you're athlete or you are not dealing with this right now, put it in your toolbox, because chances are you will have those moments where your athlete's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like this anymore. I hate cheerleading. And if you're like me, where you're like so empathetic and you want to fix it, you take it seriously every time, it's hard to know how to navigate that when it might just be an emotional outburst, or maybe they're serious and you want to take it seriously, but you know that sometimes we have these impulsive outbursts or these impulsive reactions. So this episode is meant to help kind of walk you through that and kind of go back to your center, go back to your North Star on, okay, is this just a reaction, or is this a long-term thing that we need to talk about? And in addition to the content in this episode, I've actually created kind of a list of prompts, like conversation prompts, even journal prompts that you can use for yourself to know how to guide that conversation with your athlete, for yourself to even decide where you're at and for your athlete to kind of decide where they're at. So you can download that for free. Also, the link will be in the description of this episode. So all you have to do is tap on the episode wherever you're listening and you'll see all of the links. It'll be up on the cheermomblog.com and all of my socials as well. And if you are looking for another way to support a small business, to support the Cheer Mom podcast, go to cheermomshop.com. You can get this hat that I'm wearing. It says unsubscribed from the Cupid Shuffle. We can send a message without saying a word, guys. Just wear these little things to cheer competitions and maybe they'll never play the Cupid Shuffle ever again. There's some other goodies there too. And the membership information button will be on the shop as well. Remember, I will see you every Tuesday now. And without further ado, here is the episode about how to navigate that I want to quit conversation. This podcast is supported by Laundry Sauce. Say goodbye to mediocre laundry. Seriously, Laundry Sauce has completely changed the way I do laundry. They even have a quick scent quiz that you can take so you can find like the perfect scent for you because they're all about a luxury laundry experience. And here's what I love about them. With Laundry Sauce, it's not just about a chore. They want it to be a moment of joy, a little bit of rebellion, and a dash of sass, and honestly, a whole lot of confidence wrapped up in just a little single pod. And I'll admit, I was skeptical at first, but these pods really do elevate your laundry game. My clothes come out cleaner, they smell incredible, and they've tackled stains I thought wouldn't come out. Things like mud, lipstick, blood, even buffalo sauce from our restaurants. My personal favorite scent is Egyptian rose, but I've got my eye on the Italian bergamot next. I literally gave my commercial brand detergent away because I love this new detergent so much. I don't want to use anything else. So if you're ready to upgrade your laundry routine, head to laundrysauce.com/cheermomblog and use the code cheermomblog at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's laundrysauce.com/cheermomblog and use the code cheermomblog at checkout for 15% off of your first order. Can we all agree that we don't just wear jewelry, we tell a story with it. And that's exactly what you're going to find at TCC Jewelry. Whether it's celebrating your team, your athlete, honoring a milestone, showing your spirit, or just adding a little sparkle to your everyday look, every piece is designed to mean something special. From simple yet elegant Cheer Mom bracelets, rings, necklaces, little nods to cheer with sayings like hit 0 and 2 minutes and 30 seconds, to now an all new customizable charm necklace that you can add your team colors to. TCC Jewelry makes it easy to wear what matters most to you. It's not just jewelry. It's a reminder of what you're proud of, what you've accomplished, and what you love. So whether you're gifting someone you adore or treating yourself, because you deserve it, check out TCC Jewelry and find the piece that tells your story. Shop now at tccjewelry.com and enter code CheerMomPod for a special discount at checkout. tccjewelry.com, enter coupon code CheerMomPod at checkout for a discount. First, let's start with that definitive, you know that they mean it, and it's that I can't do this anymore moment. They have not been having maybe a healthy experience, or you've seen this gradually grow over the last weeks and months, and they just have that, I cannot do this anymore. Let me talk to you about what my initial reactions were when I've heard this sentence come out of my own kid's mouth. Because let's be real, it's hard to be objective and emotionless when it comes to anything about our kids. Am I right? Like, we read the parenting books and we listen to the tips about like standing firm and things, and there's a time and a place for that. But when your kid is hurting, you hurt as a parent, right? And so it can feel, even when you see it coming, it can feel shocking, like, oh wow, they really do mean it. It can feel disappointing because maybe they loved it for so long. Maybe you were in cheer and you loved it so much, it's something you wanted to share with your athlete. And let's pause for a second. And I just want to say that I think that it's much less common than the stereotypes give it credence to, that parents are living vicariously through their children in cheer. First of all, a lot of us don't want to be there in the first place. Like, okay, honey, you're happy and you love it. Therefore, I am happy and I'm here for you. And a lot of us like didn't even grow up with this kind of competitive cheerleading environment in the first place. And so it's hard to imagine a world where there are just so many parents that are like, I never got this opportunity and now it's your turn. I don't know. I think that maybe there are some out there, but I don't see that as like the overarching majority of feeling among parents. They are just there to support their kids. And I think, especially with my generation and the generation before me, whether it's cheerleading or baseball or dance or football or whatever it is, like it's not the sport necessarily, it's that we want our kids to have the things that we didn't get to have. And I've read that that's like a common worldview or value among millennials and Gen Xers. So I'm just kind of going from that frame of reference. I'm holding my fingers up like, what's the word? Frame of reference. So it can feel disappointing because of all of those different emotions that come up. Especially for me, I feel the need to fix. Okay, well, like, how can we fix it? What do we need to do? Like, how can we make this situation better for you so that maybe you want to stay? And change is hard. It's hard for all of us, even adults, kids that are listening. Like, change is hard for us. So it's like, what do you mean you want to quit? Like, we're gonna have to like undo all of these things that we did. It's so it's a lot to process. And I would say, for kids listening, let your parents process a little bit. Like, I know it seems like we're like elite humans and grown-ups, but no, well, we're not. We've just lived a little longer than you have, but we still have to process. So sometimes the initial reaction isn't the real reaction. We just got to like work through it. And parents can sometimes do that behind closed doors, and sometimes we can't. Sometimes we wear our emotions on our sleeves. So it can feel like we need to fix it. It can be confusing because, again, our kids have loved this for so long, or maybe the program or the team is doing particularly good, or the coaching is good. And it can feel confusing, like, wait, but you have all of these factors around you that are contributing to your success. I'm confused. Why is it so terrible for you? And we can feel guilty for maybe it's not the right set of circumstances. And as we have this conversation with our kids, it's like, I had a mom say to me recently, I should have noticed it sooner. Or I thought we could wait it out and it would get better with a different set of circumstances. Maybe it's a different team or different teammates or different coaches or different division and age group. There's so many of those factors that it's like, well, let's just see how this season works. Let's just see how this year works. And I don't think that that's bad, but it's easy for us to feel guilty, like I should have stepped in sooner or noticed sooner or taken action or helped my kid to take action sooner. So these are all the emotions. So don't judge your emotions on that. Process them, work through them. I think that the conversation with your athlete is age dependent, but it might be okay to say, oh, wow, okay, I am confused because last month you were talking about how much you love it and how this could be your forever sport. Or how can I fix it? What can I do? Or, oh, wow, like, I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I think that there are probably ways, and I'm no child psychologist, but there are probably ways to have versions of that conversation at every age level. It just kind of depends, like if your 5-year-old is like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, okay, like It's either time for a nap or maybe they just don't like it and it's time to try a T-ball or something. So parents, the first thing that I want you to do is pause. Take a breath, feel it, grieve it if you need to. This may not be the end. It may be a pivot. It may be a step back. It may be completely temporary. So just sit with it for a minute. I think that the ride home from practice is not the time to make any big decisions about anything. That was just a thought that came to my mind. It's not like a compass that I live by. It's just a lot of emotions happen in the car on the way home from cheer practice, from school, from church, from the yogurt shop, like from anything, So just give it a beat, take a pause, take a breath. If you have to, tell your kid, I hear you. I want to talk about this and work through it with you. Let's set aside some time tomorrow at breakfast, or after I get off work tomorrow, I will take you out to Starbucks and let's have a conversation about it. And that'll give everyone time to level out the emotional reaction of it all and regroup and come back together and have that conversation. Athletes, my advice to you, pause and take a breath. It is okay to vent, to have emotions, to even have an emotional outburst, especially to your parents and trusted adults. It's okay to get in the car and go slam the door and I can't do this anymore. And it's okay to say, I just need a minute. It's okay to go to bed and wake up feeling differently and saying, okay, I didn't mean it. I changed my mind. I just had a rough night. It's okay to contradict yourself. You're not fully grown and neither is your brain. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the environment around you. It's okay to feel one thing one day and something completely different the next day. Take a deep breath, take a pause. If you still feel the same way that you did last night when you got home from practice, ask your parents or your trusted adults. You could even send them a text. Hey, I'm thinking about the things I was saying about cheer and my feelings about cheer. Can we talk about it over dinner tonight? And that's a really good way. It's a really quick way to get their attention and for them to take you seriously. So that's my advice to you athletes. Next, parents, let's talk about the why. I love getting down to the bottom of the why of everything. And maybe that's not you. And maybe you're also like me, though, in the sense that you are traditional and we keep our commitments and we are loyal and we don't change our mind unless we've talked to our therapist and our primary care physician and our neighbor, gotten input, and we make decisions slowly. I think that there are lots of us who are out there who are like, no, you committed for next season and you're going to follow through on your commitments. And I think that there's a time and a place, again, for following through on your commitments. Middle of competition season is certainly not the time to quit or to allow your child to pivot unless it's a matter of physical or mental safety. Middle of the season is not the time to just up and leave. 9 months, it seems like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, I believe it will teach them commitment and following through with what you say you're going to do, and therefore being cautious and careful and intentional about what you say you're going to do so that you don't get in a position where you're in the middle of it going, oh my gosh, I hate this and I am still going to have to follow through with it. Like I've been through that as an adult where it's like, I shouldn't have said yes to this in the first place, but I'm going to finish out the season and then they're never going to see me again. Not when it comes to cheer, but other things. So I do think there's a lesson to be learned in follow through. But when it comes down to your athlete is coming to you saying, I don't want to do this anymore, I encourage you to choose curiosity over judgment and criticism. Maybe you do know what's best for your kid. Maybe you do have the big picture and you know they don't want to quit. Maybe you do know better, But curiosity always, I have found lately, it wins the day rather than saying, here's what you need to do. And you've got this going on, which is why you're feeling this. So it's not about cheer, it's about this and this and this. That might be true, but I can tell you, as someone who's gone through that again recently as an adult with another adult, having an adult conversation where I was like, oh, I've got your mail. I read your mail. I've got your number. I know what's going on with you. Here's how you need to change it. That was not, I was right, but it was not well received. So, even with our kids, choosing curiosity over criticism will help to diffuse that conversation, especially again, it's an emotional conversation. Choose that curiosity over criticism, over your tradition, and over fear that maybe they're making the wrong decision and that they'll regret it. And on that note, I don't have any research to back this up. It just seems to me that it's okay for our kids to have regrets. It's okay for our kids, like the great Jeff Benson says, it's okay for our kids to struggle through things. Like, we don't want to see them struggle. We don't want them to have regrets, but that's part of the human experience. And maybe feeling regret over making the wrong decision can remind you of how much you love something, because they're not going to lose cheerleading forever if they change their mind and want to go back. Like, cheerleading will always be there for them. So, food for thought. I don't know. So, parents, here's an example of how you can choose curiosity. Start asking questions. Ask something like, okay, what's been feeling hard about it? What's been feeling so difficult about it? Is it the sport as a whole? Is it the team? Is it something else? What would need to change in order for you to feel like you could stay? And athletes, I encourage you to be reflective on that and give real answers, like specific answers. Don't say, there's nothing that could change that could make me like it. That's not going to be an acceptable answer. It's okay to give an impossible answer, like maybe not an impossible answer, but an unlikely answer. Like, the gym would have to have air conditioning and every inch of the gym for me to enjoy it. But what is it that is bothering you? And maybe it's multiple things that need to change in order for you to enjoy your experience. But that's going to give you insight and data points to really pinpoint and understand why cheer may not be right for you as a person, or maybe why cheer might not be right for you in this season, in this time of your life. Some common reasons that our cheer athletes, especially in elite competitive cheer, that they want to quit are exhaustion, burnout, drama or no meaningful friendships, or both, pressure to perform, and even changing interests. Our kids are still being shaped as humans, and I would even argue that we as adults are still being changed and shaped as humans. I don't have the same interests that I did 10 years ago. I don't have the same friendships with some people that I had 5 years ago. I am in a different place in my life than I was just a few years ago, and in my environment and how I move about my day. And so I don't think that we should discount that our kids could be feeling the very same thing and could say, I just want to try something else. I think that's okay. In fact, I know that it's okay because Jeff Benson and Coach Lane, they told us on the podcast. Okay, we've talked about the moment when we all realize this is actually real and we need to have a serious conversation about it. And the getting down to the bottom of the why I can't do this anymore, why your athlete can't do this anymore or prefers not to do it anymore. Parents, let's talk about how we can best balance support while still maintaining structure. I love structure. I love structure for myself. I need structure for myself. I strived as a parent. That was probably a core value of mine now that I think about it that way as a parent, is to provide structure for my kids and life lessons that we all talk about, and teaching them to value things like follow through and integrity and trust. So how do we balance those things of, oh, I love you more than my next breath? And also, sometimes you got to do the hard stuff, kid. Sometimes you have to do the things that are hard. I didn't do this on purpose, but I have 3 E's, and I'm so proud because I never have these things. The 3 E's. First of all, have empathy and still teach commitment. So let's say you are smack dab in the middle of the season, or maybe the season is still in its early phase, but they've done choreography. Your athlete has a spot, you've paid all the deposits, and it's kind of too late to up and leave under the circumstances that you're in. It's okay to say, I know this really sucks, but we're going to need to stick it out until XYZ. Now, maybe it's not till the end of the season. Maybe that's a conversation that you can have with the coaches saying, hey, I want to be there for you until you can find a replacement. I don't think that this is necessarily, maybe on some world's teams it's like this, but it's not like a job where it's like, well, if you don't want to be here, then you need to leave right now. Like, I think that there are programs and teams and coaches that would welcome the fill in until I can find somebody else, and give that a deadline. Like, we can stay until December or until you find someone else. That might be a meet in the middle point. But saying to your kid, hey, I see what you see, and I'm so sorry that you are struggling with that. I'm so sorry that your teammates are being rude to you. I'm so sorry that you don't feel like you can throw those skills, or I'm so sorry that your workload and your school load is so much for you that you didn't realize you couldn't handle all of it and cheer at the same time. I think my kids have both been through situations, as have I, and my husband actually taught me this. It's like 65 more days, babe, like 65 more days. And kind of being in the muck a little bit with them, that like, oh, you have another practice. I'm so sorry. Just 10 more practices and then you're done. 10 more practices and you never have to see that rotten so-and-so again. 10 more practices and you never have to walk on that mat again. I think it's okay to get down on that level with them once the decision has been made. There is something so powerful about empathy, and it very well could build trust and a stronger bond between you and your kid if you can have that kind of empathy while still saying, hey, we're going to finish this out. It's going to suck, but together we can do it. I'm here for you. Second E, empower them. We all have met the kind of person, and a lot of us have the kind of kid, or maybe you are the kind of person that they are very hard on themselves and would just lay down and die for their teammates. And if they tear their ACL and they're out for the season, and they're not worried about their pain, they're worried about letting their teammates down. We all have that person that is so selfless, but at the same time is also very critical of themselves. And maybe they're saying, I can't believe I'm quitting, or I'm letting everyone down. I have a kid that has asked me that before, like, am I disappointing you? Am I letting you down? And that makes me cry. I'm like, you could never let me down. But some of us are wired that way. And so I think the thing to say to them is, you're not giving up. You are not letting people down. You are doing what's best for you. And yes, there may be some people who are disappointed about that for their own reasons. There may be people who they might get angry at you because of their own reasons and feelings. Maybe it's because you're so valuable that they're mad that you're walking away. Maybe it has nothing to do with you and they're just angry. This is where that very powerful, very popular phrase from our friend Mel Robbins comes in. Let them have their feelings, and stand firm in that you know that you are doing what's best for you. You are not giving up. You're pivoting, you're taking a step back, you're taking care of yourself, you're trying something different and new. You are going on an adventure to learn more about yourself or what your body is capable of. Do not be hard on yourself. Kids and parents, empowerment is, well, it's powerful. The third E, and maybe this is the most important one, maybe it should have been the first one, but encourage values-driven decision making. So if and when you're making the decision to leave the sport or take a break from the sport or change gyms or fill in the blank, you know that I am huge on what are your core values? What are your personal values? And this time it's not necessarily what are your values around choosing a gym or a coach or a team or a location. What is most important to me? What matters most to me and what matters most to my family or the people that are most important to me? And there is no wrong answer to that question. Maybe being creative is what matters most to you. Maybe performing is what matters most to you. Maybe getting more time with your friends who are not in cheer is what matters most. Maybe being a leader in your youth group is what matters most. Maybe being at home to help take care of your siblings is what matters most. A very freeing quote that I have learned to latch onto is that, well, it's a couple of quotes. Nothing is permanent and everything is figure outable. Seasons change, people change, circumstances change. Nothing is permanent. So we stay grateful in the happy times. We are hopeful in the sad times, and everything is figure outable. What if it comes down to you did make the wrong decision and you miss cheerleading more than your next meal and you want to go back? It's figure outable. It is okay to change your mind. It is okay to say, I think I made a mistake. I think that people, on the note of switching gyms, I think that people get that kind of dance moms mindset that I'm not trying to insult or criticize dance moms, but Dance Moms, the reality show, we get that stuck in our mind where we see people just like gym hopping or studio hopping because they're just not happy with something small. And so we stay at a gym or a program that maybe we don't like, that doesn't align with our values, in the name of, no, I don't want to be seen as a gym hopper. No, I don't want to be seen as non-committal. I think that's valuable, but if you're thinking that way, chances are that you're not one of those gym hoppers. And if people gossip about you, like, so what? Again, let them. If you tried one gym and it didn't work out, or you grew out of a gym and you went to another gym and that new gym wasn't right for you, don't stay. Don't, cut off your nose to spite your face, right? Constantly assess, evaluate, and reflect on what matters most to you and your family and make your decision based on those things. So what's next? What do you do next? Maybe you have a plan. Maybe you're like, I don't want to do cheer anymore. I want to be a theater kid. I want to be a choir kid, which is kind of what I did, except it was dance. But anyway, maybe you do have a plan. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just have been so wrapped up in committing to this all-consuming sport and all-consuming world that you haven't had even a chance to think about what you would or could do next. And I think that it can be a scary place, but it can also be a really fun place. And so athletes, I encourage you to dream. Parents, dream with them. Like, go to see a different kind of movie that you've never seen before. Go do things in your community. Go be a tourist in your own town. And you just never know. Like, go out in public and go for walks and pay attention to the world around you. I'm a believer that the universe will bring the answers to you. And you could just be out having an ordinary day and the thing that's meant for you next will just jump out at you. So keep your possibilities open and dream about what could be next. It can be a fun season if you let it. And hey, cheerleading, I know a lot of gym owners and coaches that will say, we will always be here for you. Cheerleading will always be here for you. And that's awesome. You can still go to cheer competitions and support. You can still cheer for your friends and scream for your friends who are on the sidelines or still doing elite competitive cheer. It's pretty fun to just like be able to go to a competition and leave whenever you want and see your friends and then go. You don't have to stay for awards. And parents, don't forget, even if they are the most talented tumbler or the most talented or the strongest base on their team or in the gym, they can still be successful doing other things. It is okay to be successful and be good at a thing and that thing not be for you. That's a hard truth. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's advice that I've had to chew on and work through in my life for a long time. And there are people out there who are good at a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that, like many of you don't know this about me, but I am a musician. I am a singer. I was trying to get on a track to be successful in a music field for a very, very big part of my life. And at some point, it wasn't even after like really going out there and trying to make it and failing. It was realizing that, this gift might just be for me to enjoy. I enjoy music. I enjoy different kinds of music. I enjoy singing and singing feels good and it does something for me personally by myself that it's nice when I share it like with my close friends and family, but it's not necessarily the gift that I have to share with the world that I'm doing the world a disservice if I don't do it. I'm still good at it, but it's not like I'm not a failure because I'm not out trying to make it as a professional singer. And that's something that we don't talk about enough. So parents, be having these conversations with your kids. It doesn't have to be a breaking point to talk about some of these things and learn about what's going on in your kid's mind and your heart. And kids, you don't have to be in a dire spot to ask your parents questions and like, well, what would you think if I did this instead, or if I wanted to do that instead? And if you need a little extra help, I have created a list of conversation starters that parents and athletes can kind of use as a guide. Leave it in a note on your phone. It doesn't have to be like filling out a questionnaire. It just kind of gets your brain working to start those conversations and have those conversations with your athlete, and some journal prompts that both athlete and parent can use to process and get to the bottom of their why. And you can download that for free. I will put the link in the show notes. You can find it at thecheermomblog.com. This is a really good opportunity to self-reflect and deepen your connection with your kid and with your parents. And coaches, I even invite you to take a peek at it to help to support and mold and shape your athletes and also be a support to the parents at your gym. If you liked this episode or if you know someone who could use it, please share it with a friend. Please leave a review. It really helps more than you know when you leave a review. I am so grateful for those of you who have, especially on Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't have an iPhone, you can go to, I think it's like applepodcasts.com and search for the Cheer Mom Podcast, leave a review. It means so much and tells Apple that like I'm a kind of a big deal. So until next time, remember, I love you. You are more than enough. And it's just cheerleading.